You did mention data and looking at the facts. When Steve Nygreen, founder of Serenbe, talked about the outcome of the project that Serenbe is to create a community with different villages, different parts, he said, well, we're interested in lifestyle and the community around it. Look at the number of children with respiratory diseases. It's dropped to zero. Right. Let's take a look at the women who came with their spouse, their partner, in the hope of settling down away from the city, stress, trouble, bustle, and were not able to have children before. Now they had women with fertility issues that have been resolved through lifestyle. And if I just mention one last topic, and with you, it's always hard to stop because there's always one last thing. But my last thing will be, again, connecting with the Global Wellness Summit and Global Wellness Institute. The Surgeon General, also who became one of the chief innovators for Canyon Ranch.
Richard Carmona, yeah.
Yeah, Richard Carmona said 75% of doctor's appointments are stress related. When we look at the amount of money that is spent, thrown in the so-called health system, which is more like a sick care system, they are related mainly to poor lifestyle choices. When we see that 15 million people were seen by the United Nations and especially by the World Health Organization as dying prematurely each year before we focused on the numbers of COVID-19 because of poor lifestyle choices, heart disease, stroke, respiratory diseases, cancer, of course, and diabetes are all lifestyle related. Medical wellness in that part can bring the best of the medical part and the hospitality for people to have meaningful stays, whether short, midterm, or long, to improve the quality of their lifestyle. This is where there's a huge potential.
I like the way that you just finish on one enormously massive topic that could take a lifetime to get through. But let's just touch on a couple of little things that you mentioned there. Firstly, I think the Central European countries have always understood the benefit of living a healthy life. And they've had all kinds of programs in Germany, Austria and Poland. So that's central part of Europe to encourage people to go away on wellness retreats or go to mineral springs or so on. Now, if we really want a paradigm shift, in the wellness of a nation, it is when the government takes an active role in it, because it will come through education. You mentioned Richard Carmona talking about the number of people is stress related. A lot of that is down to marketing. So do we eat healthy? No, we eat what's convenient. Why? Because it's so tasty, it's so good, it's so available, it's so cheap, and it's plastered in every advert on every media we see. So if we are uneducated, and I say uneducated not in a derogatory way, but if we're not informed, shall we say, if we're not informed, we will take easy options. It's human nature to take easy options. And it's only when we have taken that easy option to the point that it's now caused us major distress in our body that we now realize, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I've got to change. Well, how do I reverse 20 or 30 years of bad habits? It's very difficult. Now, as a nation, if a nation then takes on the responsibility of giving better education and making it easier for people to live better quality lives, it saves an enormous amount of money and stress on the nation and gives everybody a better quality of life. That will happen sometime. It will do. It's happened in the past and it will happen again. And it may happen out of necessity. We already see many national health services underfunded and overstretched. And so we do need to shift to more prevention and less cure. The second part of what you said, and you said it at the beginning, and it is important, is that, of course, the countries you mentioned, Dubai, Singapore and Thailand, as being medical tourism, yes, they are. And quite rightly, they will move more and more into medical wellness and more into lifestyle. The other countries that I would see in there are Mexico and India. Always those two plus the three you mentioned have been the top 5 medical tourist destinations, and it will be an easy shift for them to move into the wellness or medi-wellness era. And in fact, if you look at developments in Mexico, it's already doing it. If you look at Costa Rica, it's starting to get there. It's coming from the wellness angle, but it could easily move into the medi-wellness area. And I think India's the sleeping giant in all of this with the potential they've got. So on that note, there's a lot of optimism for the future. The Medical Wellness Congress is a great opportunity to create a think tank around this topic. This topic is going to expand and get bigger and bigger and bigger. If we think of a $4.5 trillion wellness industry, and then you add in the medical industry on top of that, and then call it the medical wellness industry, how big would that be?
Indeed. And on that note, our time is up. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
For
Look
sharing.
Forward to the Congress in June.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. To be continued.
To be
Merci,
continued.
Andrew.
Thank you.